Um, so let's take a look at my first, well, one of my first live. Let's see if this works. How are we doing here? My first live, okay. Okay. First of all, it's probably a good idea to clean the screen. I should have done that before. So I am just testing this out. Hope everyone is good. Let's see, what do these buttons do? Okay. Yeah, so I've gone live. Let's see what happens today. It is Sunday. It is Sunday afternoon, and I am just relaxing at home. It is 12:15 in the afternoon on Sunday. I wanted to try this because I wanted to maybe do some weekend live chats with you all. First of all, I do want to thank everyone who is liking, sharing, commenting. I got a new channel manager, a local person in Sri Lanka, to help support, keep my money in Sri Lanka. And within the first 2 weeks, he's done a really good job. The thumbnails are great. I hope you guys notice the thumbnails are a little bit different. He has gotten more views for me by posting to different channels, Reddit and etc. So I want to thank all the new viewers who are coming on board. And we have some plans for the future. Now, I haven't officially broadcast it, but those of you who are on my Facebook, those of you who are on my Instagram will know that I am planning on moving from Sri Lanka to Philippines. So I'm gonna make that official now. I'm gonna have a video about that coming. Where is it? Let's see here. In about a week. Yeah, about next week. I'm making the video and posting it. So I'm going to talk to you about today, plans for the channel, things that are going on. I'm going to take a walk around the house. I'm going to answer any questions anybody has in the live chat. Let's see. So if anybody wants to hit me up on a chat, please go right ahead. And I will be more than happy. That switches. Yeah, there we go. Sri Lankan Sammi. Yeah, so this month on the channel, we're going to be doing the videos I took in Jaffna when I went last month. We had a 3-day trip up to Jaffna, which was okay. The train trip didn't enjoy, but the trip itself was enjoyable. Had a great time. Food was great. The beaches were incredible, and it was my parents' their second time going to Jaffna in their lives because of the war. A lot of people forget that there was a 30-year civil war, so it was impossible to go up there. Not safe. First of all, you couldn't. Second of all, if you did, it's not safe. Being that, my parents are Sri Lankan, and it's a whole big cultural thing. But when I went up there, it was great. Had a great time. The people were wonderful. The food was great. The beaches were great. Just the trains, never taking the train again. The train cars are okay. It's the tracks that are a big problem. They're not maintained, so they're not even, they're not flat, and the trains run slow and they're bumpy. So it was not enjoyable in any way, the train trip. Not comfortable. I'd rather, take longer. I mean, they only go 30, 40 kilometers an hour. It was like 8 hours to get up there. Could have done it in about 4 or 5 hours by car. But because of the fuel situation, it wasn't feasible. Anyway, the rest of this month, I'm just looking at the calendar. I'm gonna have one already went up. Two went up. Sorry. So there's 1, 2, 3 or 4 more. Then I'm gonna have a video about my arm was hurting me for the longest time. I thought I had tennis elbow because it was hurting like right here and right here, my mouse hand, and I thought that that's what it was, and then maybe I thought it was bone spur or something going on with my nerves, maybe bursitis or something like that. So I went to the hospital. I had a nerve test, I had x-rays, and I had MRI. It all came back negative. So I have the consultation, went to the dentist. So for my Philippine trip, let me explain what's going on. So the details will come out in the video, which is going up on the 25th of November. But basically, I have to go to Korea. I have to go to Korea to reset my entry permit because I'm only a visa holder. I'm not a citizen. So I have to go there because of my work permit. So I have to go there to reset that. And I figured, why go all the way there and then come back to Sri Lanka and then go all the way back 2 months later to renew my visa, my work visa. I figured, why don't I just go to Philippines or go someplace? I was thinking Thailand, Philippines. I've never been to the Philippines, and my best friend is living there. She says, come stay with me. So he got a 2-bedroom. I'm setting everything up. I'll talk to you guys about that later. So I'm going to go there for 5 months, chill out there, hop back to South Korea, reset my visa, and then come back to Sri Lanka. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to spend 4 or 5 months in Philippines in the winter time and spend the summer time in Sri Lanka. We'll see how that goes. Experiment in my retirement. I'll continue working. So I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, and then in December, there's a couple more Jaffna videos. Oh, yeah. I got to do a house tour and a food cooking video. I'm going to talk about, we're going to go to Negumbo Fish Market early in the morning. I know I've already been there, but it was late afternoon. We're going to go early morning. We're going to talk about holidays in Sri Lanka. My birthday's coming up. I'm going to talk about tourism and going to update you on my work life. We're going to talk about interest rates in Sri Lanka. It's very interesting. And weather. Everybody loves to talk about the weather. I'm going to talk about the weather here in Sri Lanka. It's very interesting the way the weather cycles here. I actually have a box that my mom found upstairs. Basically, when my parents left Canada, they got a cargo container. And they put everything in the cargo container from Canada, like everything. I'm talking about every little knick-knack, every little kitschy item. Now, when I lived in Canada, I didn't go to visit my parents all that often. They would come to Toronto or we would meet someplace or something. I never went to the house all that often, my family home. But I mean, I know what it looks like. So when I came for the first time to Sri Lanka, maybe 14 years ago, 15 years ago, I'm going to say about 10 to 12 years ago. The first time I came to Sri Lanka and I walked into the house for the first time, I walk in and I look around and I'm like, It's identical to the house in Canada, the inside, everything, like down to the cupboards and closets and everything. I was just like, it's so funny, so funny. So anyway, they had packed it up, and my mom was going through things because they have 5 rooms upstairs, and I live downstairs in the in-law suite downstairs. So I barely go upstairs. I haven't looked in all those closets. I just know it's full of stuff. She had found a box of my old papers. So inside the box are all my tax papers going back to like 1995 till 2007. That's, I guess, not long, maybe 10 years. All personal documents, tax documents, my divorce, my like all personal documents. I found all my old passports, all my old immunization records going back to childhood, all my old passports going back to my childhood, my citizenship papers. So documents going back to the 70s. And I found my yearbooks from high school. 2 yearbooks? Yeah, 2 yearbooks from high school. So I'm going to unbox all of those and go through all of those and just see the, the stories that are there. So January and February will be really interesting because I'm doing a lot of flying. I will be flying to Korea on Singapore Airlines business class. I'm going to be staying at a business class hotel in Gangnam for 2 weeks. I'm going to be meeting with friends and having, and it's also Asian New Year. Then I'm going to be flying to Clark International Airport in Subic Bay on Philippine Airlines business class. So I'm going to review that. I'm going to be going through, I'm going to be going through the gold class in Sri Lanka. So I'm going to be reviewing that, which is the VIP concierge service. So I'm going to be landing. I'm going to be staying up with my friend at his place. I'm going to be doing some shopping. I've already done some online shopping to have some things delivered to his place. I'm going to be buying a computer in Korea. I've already ordered it. It's going to go to my friend's house. I'm going to pick it up from there, a laptop. I bought a few things in Korea. I'm going to bring back to Sri Lanka. 1 week after I land in Philippines, I'm going on a vacation to Cebu to meet my brother and my parents. So I'm only leaving my parents for a week before I see them again, which will be funny. But my brother's flying in from Vancouver, so he got us a 5-star hotel in Cebu, Shangri-La. So I'm going to be reviewing that. So I'm going to be flying domestic Cebu Air from Clark to Cebu. So I'm going to be reviewing that. Then I'll be reviewing, Cebu Island and doing all of that. Then coming back to in February, just reviewing, Subic Bay, living there, shopping, things like that. March, I'm going to be having all the Cebu stuff will be coming out in March. My cost of living, renewing my visa in Philippines. I'm going to be doing that. Don't have anything set for April, May, or June, but probably I'm going to be talking about, life of an expat, living life. I'm going to try to do some tours in Manila and stuff like that. And then obviously, June, I will be returning to Korea for 2 weeks. So I'll be, that'll come out in July. I'm going to try to push out my videos about 2 to 3 weeks from live. I don't want to do them the day of because I'm finding I've made a couple of mistakes in some of my videos. Like just recently, I uploaded a video and I had neglected to properly edit it, and I was missing video from it. And because I don't have a lot of storage space, I delete videos. So that was a mistake. So with my new laptop, I'm going to buy a 2 terabyte external hard drive. so that I can keep every single piece of video that I record, so that I don't lose anything and I don't make any mistakes, etc., etc. So what else is going on? Well, it's a nice day today. Why don't we take you out to the backyard? I have finished work. I had classes today, Sunday, on a Sunday. Trying to make as much money as I can before I head to Korea. I'm really happy with the lowering of the why is the live chat not coming on? Okay. Can someone test the live chat? I can't really see who's online here. Let's see. Will this work? Let's see if this works. I'm going to watch myself on the video. Hopefully that works. All right, so let's see, maybe I'll do it on here. I really need to look up how to do this properly. I've seen some videos about OBS or StreamWire or something like that. Some kind of plugin that you have for doing this. So okay, so I'm on my phone. Okay, there we go. It does come up on my screen, so I can see it on my screen. So great. All right. So it's not coming up on my computer, which is weird. But anyway, what was I talking about? Squirrel! Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'm buying a so I'm buying a laptop in Korea. I found one online, really good price, and it is about $1,500, and it is a high-end machine, 17-inch, good CPU, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a RTX 3060 graphics card, which is really good. So I've also purchased a portable monitor, a stand, a cooling fan for the, like a cooling stand, so it's elevated and cooling, all the plugins. So I've ordered a mouse and keyboard so that I have one over there. I ordered a cheap monitor because I need to have two monitors to do work, because the 2 weeks I'm in Korea, I'm working. Now I can carry the monitor with me to Philippines, but I've also ordered another big monitor in the Philippines. I've ordered a desk, I've ordered a UPS, I've ordered a nice comfortable chair, extension cords. I'm taking most of the cables from here, but I'm leaving the keyboard and mouse just in case someone needs to use this computer. So I figured, you know, why buy a cheap computer? And who's online here? Oh, I can't see that. It's too small. Sorry, someone just said hello, and I'm sorry I didn't see who that was, but hi. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, just post them up, and I'll try to answer as well as possible. Why don't I just turn this on? Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, so I bought this computer, this laptop. I'm gonna make it like a workstation because I'm not moving my laptop around. I'm gonna be working in Philippines. So, Kendall, how are you? Thank you for joining. I am a Canadian citizen and a Sri Lankan citizen. So another video that I have coming up is my childhood, my life, the story of my life. So just a very short but sweet. My family is ethnically Sri Lankan, Sinhalese. I was born in China. My father was a diplomat working in China. My mother and father got married and moved there. Got married here in Sri Lanka, moved there. I was born technically in the embassy, so I have Sri Lankan citizenship at birth. My brother and I were both born there. 4 years in China, 2 years in Italy, 1 year in Europe, and then Canada. We emigrated to Canada. I was about 6 years old. At that point, I spoke Sri Lankan, Mandarin, Italian, and a little bit of English. Obviously forgot my Mandarin. Came to Canada, I spoke Italian and English, learned French, got my citizenship, had to give up my Sri Lankan citizenship, and then I received my Sri Lankan citizenship about, I'm gonna say 5 to 7 years ago. I reapplied for my Sri Lankan citizenship. So I have my Canadian and Sri Lankan citizenship and my Korean permanent residence. And I'm going to get my I'm going to think about getting my Philippine permanent residence as well, if things in the Philippines work out. My Korean permanent residence is probably going to last me another 2 to 5 years, depending on this next renewal. And at that point, I probably will not renew it again. I won't need the work permit anymore because I'm going to retire, so I won't need it. And I can just go to Korea whenever I want as a tourist for 6 months. Tourist visa is only for Canadians is 6 months. I will never give up my Canadian citizenship because I travel on my Canadian passport. And I use my Sri Lankan citizenship to live here and to take advantage of the banking. We're going to talk about that later. What do I do for fun? Not much. There's not much to do. I live in a small village north of Colombo. So I have now been in Sri Lanka 9 months, and I don't really do a lot because I'm working. I am sacrificing this year, this full year and part of next year. I'm sacrificing for the next year or maybe even 2 years to earn enough money to put away for my retirement. And there's a story in that, and there's another video coming out, or you can check my previous videos. I'm going to take a moment just to say, please join my Discord server. The links are down below, or check out one of my videos. The link is in my description. How to join my Discord server so you can chat with me live 24 hours a day. YouTube chat isn't all that great, and I think on Discord we can actually interact more, and I really want to interact with you. Ask me questions, talk about what, I'm doing this for fun. So I want to make sure it's for you. Kendall, where are you from? Where are you watching from today? Well, right now it's about 30 degrees. It is 12:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Sunday Funday is just a day to do whatever you want. So I had an amazing breakfast. I cooked some eggs and toast, and bacon and fruit and coffee. I'm going to show you guys my coffee machine. I absolutely love my coffee machine. I don't work a lot. So from now, I worked in the morning, a couple of classes. And Kendall, you're from Northeast India, and a Mosaic Cosmos. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Northeast India, Kazakhstan. And you guys know each other? Kendall and a Mosaic Cosmos. Kazakhstan is one of my favorite countries. One of the women I dated in Korea is from Kazakhstan, and she was an amazing woman. And I absolutely loved the country. I had the chance to hear about it. I haven't visited, but I had the chance to hear about it there. A Mosaic Cosmos. I haven't been. No, I haven't been to Kazakhstan. She showed me videos and pictures and talked about it. We dated for a year. Um, so Kendall says they don't know you. So anyway, guys, please let's keep the comments positive. Okay. So this is a fun place. So Sunday Funday, what I plan to do is today was, it's now like lunchtime. So I had a late breakfast. Another thing I do during the week is, because I sit in my chair 8 to 10 hours a day, is I fast. So I reduce the amount of food that I eat. I've been doing it for months now. And it's keeping the weight off. I do exercise, but I don't get as much exercise as I should. I have a very sedentary life here. So today I was going to go for a walk. We got the air fryer delivered from Canada last week, and the bread maker. Don't think I'm going to get to the bread maker today. I am going to get to the air fryer today. I am going to do French fries, and maybe Mom said we're going to do some barbecue this afternoon. So I'm going to get to that. She is getting ready to watch the cricket matches, which start in 20 minutes, and I have no interest in. So my plan was to, play some video games or watch some movies or TV or something like that. I download everything. Well, a Mosaic Cosmos. Fasting is sort of, I don't know whether it works or not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. What I have seen online and what I have personally experienced, and when you look at people like, people in Japan, people in India, it does help you lose weight. And I feel great. I'm not tired. I'm not lethargic. I've lost about a kilo every 2 weeks of weight. And I've lost inches off my belly in the last 2 months when I've really focused on it. I fast for 5 days. And the fasting I do is 18 to 20 hours of fasting. And when I eat, I only eat healthy. So for breakfast, I will have a bowl of fruit, fresh fruit, papaya, mango, banana, pineapple. Tropical fruits, not northern fruits. Northern fruits are apples, pears, those types of things, oranges. Tropical fruits are your high fiber. I have found that, I don't want to go into details, but obviously the plumbing is much, much better. And then in the afternoon, I will have a little bit of rice and heavy on the vegetables and meat. Mangoes here are so delicious. Pineapples are great. They're a little bit too sweet for me, but mangoes and papaya, wow. And kiwi, not kiwi, guacamole. What is guacamole made of? Bananas are gross. I'll agree with you on that. That's why I like my bananas cold and just turned yellow. If it gets too ripe, I get sick. And I don't eat them. I cut them up. That way it's easier to eat because I mix it up with the other fruit, and I'll take a slice of banana and a slice of mango. Yes. And another trick, salt and pepper flakes on your mango with a little bit of chili flakes. If you add a little bit of chili flakes, pineapple slices, if you slice pineapple and you fry them up with sugar and cinnamon, wow, great. But then that's not really healthy. I don't take in a lot of sugar. Just so you guys know, Christmas Day is my birthday. I'm going to be 54 years old. Don't let this fool you, okay? I'm an old guy. So I eat breakfast around 10:30 and lunch around 2:30, and then I won't eat again. So 4 hours of eating. And I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. Saturdays and Sundays, I get to eat whatever I want. So Saturday was chicken, KFC, and Sunday Friday night was chicken, and Saturday night was pizza. So today I'm gonna have a little bit more of a healthy lunch, and I won't have dinner, and then back on the fast. I live in Sri Lanka. I live just north of Colombo, between Colombo and the airport. I have a lot of videos on my channel showing me walking around my hometown, walkabouts. So hopefully you will take a look at some of those. And please, like I said before, join my Discord server. The links are either in this video or check one of the other videos. They have the link in the bottom in the pinned comment on how to join my Discord server, so you can communicate with me every day, live anytime you want. Where are you from? How's things over where you are? So what else were we talking about? Yeah, today I was just gonna play a video game and just relax and enjoy. I was about to take a nap, but then I thought, nah, I'm gonna try this and see who's online today, and hopefully you guys will come along for the ride and enjoy. What else is going on? Well, let's see here. Let's see what's going on. All right. So Kendall, I guess you are a new viewer, because if you were an older subscriber, you would have known the answer to that question. You can also join me on Facebook and Instagram as Sri Lankan Sammi. I'm on there. I post every day, so you can definitely see what's going on. I am single. I have been single for 15 years. I was married in Canada for 10 years, and I got divorced in Canada to a Canadian girl. And my story of why I came to Korea is in my YouTube channel. But long story short, sorry, I'm just reading what you're writing here. Long story short, I wasn't happy with my life in Canada, and I had an opportunity to a longtime friend invited me to come to Korea, South Korea. I landed in Korea in 2009, and I never left until I came to Sri Lanka. So I worked. I had a great life in South Korea until COVID. I used to run one of the biggest clubs in Itaewon, which was unfortunately very close to where the tragedy occurred. I know exactly where it happened. I walked that path 10 times a week. I know exactly where it is and why that accident happened. It's so sad. My friend's club faces that alley. That club existed 10 years ago. Today it's something else. Yes, where the people crushed each other. That when I saw that video, the night it happened, I was like, I got the video message from friends probably 20 minutes after it happened. And then when I heard, I said, finally it has happened. Because long-timers like me, people who have lived in Korea for more than 2 or 3 years, know not to go in the back alley on Halloween, because it is madness. We won't go. I had told friends who, my adult friends or my students who I talked to, I told them, go to Itaewon, have a fun time, but don't go in the back alley. Stay on the main road and go home by 6 or 7 p.m. Because after that, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Yeah, I am single. November 11th was Pepero Day, which is Singles Day in Korea. And yeah, COVID did put a wrench into everyone's plans. I took advantage of it. I started working. You couldn't go out. You couldn't do anything. My club job, I disappeared because everything was closed. Come home at 4 o'clock, you can't go out. Everything's closed at 6 p.m. You can only have 2 people in your house. This is in Korea. So I decided to work. I worked 12 hours a day, nothing else to do, and I made a ton of money. And that is part of my plan, is to take that money and invest it in Sri Lanka. Northeast India, I am very ignorant about a lot of India. I've only visited one time when I was younger. I'm going to say I don't know a lot about it. I do want to visit one day, and my best friend from Korea, who's Indian, lives in Delhi. And Canada. I'm originally from Toronto. I grew up in Bradford, which is north of Toronto, near Lake Simcoe, between Barrie and Newmarket. He lives in, does he live in Delhi or Mumbai? I can't remember where he lives. Let me double check. He's always flying here or there. Where is he? Where is he? Let me look him up. He's in Delhi. He's in Delhi. Yeah, he's in Delhi. So I want to visit him, or he's going to come and visit me here in Sri Lanka. I want to visit all of India, but the thing is that I want to visit it with a local, because I just want to go not to the tourist attractions. Not interested in going seeing Taj Mahal or anything like that. For me, it's going to be more about the food. I want to experience the food. So we are very different from the people from mainland India. We look similar with Southeast Asian people. That's the thing I've noticed. A lot of people who meet me is that oh, you're South Asian, or you're Indian, or you look Indian, or whatever. And it's interesting how different but the same. So flights to Delhi to Colombo. Let's see. So Delhi to Colombo. Let's see here. Currently on Sri Lankan Airlines, about 300 Canadian dollars. 350 Canadian dollars. It's kind of expensive. Cheapest flight with one stop is about 300 Canadian dollars. That's kind of expensive, but I think things will open up soon because now COVID is done. Yeah, so from Delhi to Colombo direct is about 300. With one stop, it's about 300. Now, that's just using Skyscanner, but I'm sure if you find one of the budget discount airlines like Scoot or whatever, or one of the other budget airlines that exist, you can find it cheaper. But my plans for India will happen probably in the fall of 2023 when I return to Sri Lanka. All right, so hopefully, I'm sorry, the video signal looks like it is really bad. Let's switch. Turn that off. Okay. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Anyway, I do hope the sound is good. I'm going to watch this video obviously later. I hope the sound is good. Let's go make a coffee. All right. I'm going to take you guys along and we're going to go have a coffee. Hopefully this works. I bought this really, really cool hold on. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna make a coffee today. So let's take a look. I bought this amazing little espresso coffee maker. So I'm gonna make myself a coffee, and hopefully you guys will. Okay, let's turn that around. Yeah. So I have the coffee. So it's just like your Starbucks, I guess. I don't know. So I have the coffee. Can you see that? Yeah. So I have the coffee. And this is Ceylon Espresso Dark Roast. I like my coffee really strong. So I don't tamp it, which they say you should. I actually like it aerated a little bit more. And there we go. Let me get a cup. And of course, I have my diet sugar. All right, diet sugar. And then just push the button, and there we go. Out comes the coffee. I do enjoy a good cup of coffee. I think it's one of my little guilty pleasures. So this machine pulls out 1 cup. And so I'm gonna do 2 cups of coffee in this machine. I'm doing a live video, so. Oh, Mom, what did you cook?
I'm making barbecue.
Let's see.
Bringing the other stuff back.
Let's see. Ribs. Ooh, look at that. Ribs and garlic bread. So this is what's for lunch.
I'm bringing some more.
Okay. Mom is doing a good job. So they did the barbecue upstairs, outside. So there's a coffee. I don't like milk in my coffee, so I'm not putting milk in there. Let's clean this out. So I collect the coffee grounds because we use them in the garden. And I make a second cup. And what else did you cook? Ribs and pork chops? Second cup. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, that pork chop's mine. Ah, you burned those ribs.
Yeah, that burned the first one.
All right. So we've got ribs and beautiful barbecue pork chops. All right. So let's finish up. Baked potato? Oh, baked potato and corn. All right. I'm gonna finish this coffee. There we go. It does foam up a little bit, but that's just the foam at the top. Clean up. Just clean up the pot, and then leave it here to dry. There we go.
It will be tomorrow by the time your father brings the.
So, definitely, I'm surprised that I have lunch. Oh, my dirty bed. I haven't made my bed yet. So, yeah, this is my setup here. This is how I work. So I got my microphone, my camera, and my 2 screens, and my computer over here. You know, I have the speaker so I can turn it on and off. I keep my South Korean phone and my Sri Lankan phone. And then I have a UPS there, and the router and everything is right there. So that's my setup that I use when I do my online classes. Yeah, so those of you who don't know, I teach online. So yeah. Let's see. Well, yeah, I'm single and I live with my parents because I was going to get my own place when I came in February, when I was planning. I had planned to come here in March or April of this year, but in December, my contract ended abruptly because the company went bankrupt. So I said, I'm going to leave right away because my brother was going to be here in early February. So I said, I'm going to come and meet my brother. I haven't seen him in 5 years. So I came early. And the plan was that I was going to stay with my parents. They have a huge house, like it's huge. And we're talking about 4 bedrooms upstairs with a living room and a kitchen upstairs, and a full house downstairs with 2 bedrooms downstairs. One is an in-law suite, as you just saw me walking in. So, this is where I stay when I normally come. It's a huge bedroom with a private full bathroom. And the living room is right out there. So I have enough space to have my desk. So the way I have my desk is so that I turned it around so that the camera faces a wall, not a window. So when I'm doing my classes, it looks professional. The reason I stay with my parents, and I'll answer your next question, Kendall, in just a moment. You'll learn. Kendall, are you subscribed to my channel? I'm going to ask you, join my Instagram, join my Facebook. You'll learn a lot more about my life and who I am if you're interested. The reason I didn't get an apartment, which I was going to do, was because of the financial crisis. When I originally was coming, the financial crisis was not that big of an issue. It wasn't happening. But right after I arrived, the crap hit the fan, right? Well, you can join me on Instagram, and if you don't want to join on Instagram, join on Discord. So link down below, or check out one of my other videos. There's a link on how to join Discord and how to join my Discord server. That's why I'm staying here, because my costs are much, much cheaper. And, I'm 54 years old. My parents are in their 70s and 80s. I like being around with them. I'm actually enjoying living with them. I barely see them. I'd be very honest with you. Because I work and because they live upstairs, I barely see them. I see them maybe once a day. And that's if they come downstairs. I barely go upstairs because I'm always working, right? And I see them once in a while. Weekends, yeah. So, but it's good to be here. It's time someone helps them out as well, takes care of them. I am single forever. Um, Kendall, I have tattooed on my arm right here in Korean, Da Shi Nun, which means never or never again. It's in Korean and it reminds me to not make a mistake. On this arm, I have tattooed, learn to live life, don't let life live you. And then I have another one here, which is my motorcycle club patch. I used to be in a motorcycle club in Korea. And not speed motorcycles, cruiser motorcycles, Harley Davidsons, that kind of thing. So I've been single for 15 years since I left Canada. I've dated in Korea. I dated a lot, but being in a relationship takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. Not interested in that. I like to travel. I like to do what I want, and I don't want to have to ask permission or feel guilty about doing what I want. If I want to play video games all day, I will do video games all day. If I want to sit in my underwear and order pizza, I will do that. I don't want to have to do something because I want to compromise. I compromised my whole life, so I'm now choosing not to compromise anymore. So thank you very much for that question. A lot of people ask that. A lot of people don't understand it, and that's fine. You know, that's great for you. I'm 54 years old. I don't have time to invest in a relationship. Thank you, Mosaic Cosmos. There is really nothing wrong with it. I'm not living off of them. I am paying them. I'm paying them for food. I am paying them for electricity. Everything I use, the internet I pay for. It's my internet. My cell phone I pay for. It's my cell phone. My healthcare, all of that. I want to buy something, I pay for it. I have my own account. I pay for it. I will, when we go shopping, I'll, once in a while, I'll pay for the groceries. We're going to the fish market. I'm going to pay for everything. I buy things. I don't live off my parents. They don't need money, but I pay. I lived alone in the house for 3 months when my parents had gone to Canada. I paid for everything. I ordered a water cooler with water bottle delivery because they were doing like boiling the water and putting it in a filter and all that. I pay for that. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money. It's $20 a month. But still, I pay for everything that I want and I use. So I pay for my share of the electricity. I pay more. I paid for the solar power system to be installed. What else? Different things that I've paid for the upkeep of the house as well. Insurance, all of those things. So everything involved in the house, I'm not living off of them. I'm a renter for all, for basically what you say. But thank you for saying that. I have traveled the world, so, I left home at 18. I moved to Toronto. I work for an international company, and thank you, Kendall. I really appreciate you taking the time. Please subscribe and like, okay? And I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you enjoy some of the videos. Thank you again for taking the time to watch today. I appreciate it. Mosaic Cosmos, hope cigarette break was great. Where in Canada do you live? East Coast, West Coast? I'm from Toronto. My brother lives in Vancouver. I've traveled the world. I have lived in 7 or 8 countries in my life. I've spoken 9 languages. I've visited over 100 countries. I have physically traveled around the planet one time. I was born in China, then Italy, then Europe, then Canada, and then traveled around the world. Then from Canada coming to Korea, I went to Vancouver, Korea, and then back to Beijing about 12 years ago. I went to visit Beijing, so physically went around the world. There is snow on the ground outside. So I honestly, I've been gone from Canada for 15 years. I have no idea where there's snow. I'm gonna say not Toronto, maybe central Canada, not Vancouver, either central Canada or East Coast. I did see some friends on Facebook post some pictures of snow in northern Ontario. I know Toronto, Vancouver got snow. Wow. But, you know, this much snow. Vancouver doesn't really get snow, okay? Just like Seoul. One of the things I loved about living in Korea is winters in Korea are sunny, bright blue sky. Winterpeg, yeah, Winnipeg, Manitoba. I have never been to the west, to the central Canada. The furthest west I have been is Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, which is on the border with Manitoba, and Vancouver. Vancouver twice, and Grouse Mountain. I've never been to Alberta, Manitoba, or Saskatchewan. One of the things I miss about not traveling across Canada. My brother's done it a couple of times, and he says, although it was long and boring, it was an adventure. I have driven to Newfoundland from Toronto. So, I mean, I've done that, and I've been to all the eastern provinces. I've never driven across Canada, no. In my youth, I would have done it. Now, I'm too much of a princess. I will not drive more than, yeah. We did a family trip. I was young, so we did a family trip from Toronto to Sault Ste. Marie. That was a day of driving. Gosh. I've driven to Florida. I'll never do that again. I will never drive more than an hour to 2 hours. Impossible. Forget it. It's not worth it. Well, first, I don't drive anymore. In Sri Lanka, it's you have to drive. Taking the plane is not an option. Taking the train is just so not comfortable. But driving is just so much easier here. Ontario takes forever. People forget how big Canada is. And here's the thing, Canada has 35, 38 million people. And Korea has 52 million people. South Korea. And South Korea can fit inside Lake Ontario. A lot of people don't realize how small South Korea is and how big Canada is. South Korea has 20 more million people in it and fits inside Lake Ontario. And you think Toronto is crowded? Come to South Korea, one of the most densely packed countries in the world. One of the most densely packed. But you don't feel crowded because the cities are all new. If you look at Yonge Street in Toronto, it's only 4 lanes and then 2 sidewalks, which are about, a meter and a half on Yonge Street. In Gangnam, the main road, Taeran-ro, is 6 lanes on either side, a median, which is about 5 meters, and sidewalks, which are 5 meters to 10 meters wide. The buildings are set back. And the reason of that is for military transport, so troops transport. And in emergency situations, there's no overhead lights or anything like that. Everything's recessed. There's no cables. Everything's buried so that they can use it as an emergency runway. Gangnam is on the south side of the Han River. So in the event of a attack by North Korea, they can retreat to the south side of the river and use that as a defensive line against the North Korean invasion. So where I live on the north side of the river, we're gone. But I used to live in Itaewon area where the accident happened. I lived up on the hill. And then I moved to the south side. I lived in Gangnam. So I lived in both areas. Hong Kong, I've only ever visited twice. Really? I gotta check that out. Someone, Seoul 101 is saying that Lake Ontario is only 20,000 kilometers squared and South Korea is 100,000 kilometers squared. I gotta look that up because when you look at it on the map, they look the same size. Maybe they're not the same size, but the length and the width. I'm going to say, okay, well, South Korea is about 500 kilometers long and about 200 kilometers wide. Okay, I'm just using it as a comparison. And Lake Ontario is about 450, 500 kilometers and about 150 to 200 kilometers at its widest point. So I'm just using it as a general reference. But yes, there's always a disagreement between China and Canada in size. Mosaic Cosmos says that the actual China is very close in Canada to size, and it depends on how you measure things. There's always a discrepancy between Canada being the largest country in the world and China being the largest country, but you know, whatever. Let's use just relative size. You know, Lake Ontario, when you compare Canada as a whole country to South Korea, let's use the relative size. Let's use something we can, you know, relate to. And we all know Lake Ontario is huge to us. But South Korea is tiny compared to the country of Canada. Anyway, I find Seoul to be busy depending on where you are. If you're in the new part of the city, it's not. If you're in the older part of the city, yes, it can get crowded. But I never felt, what's the word? You know, talking about the situation that occurred in Itaewon recently, the crowd crush. I've never experienced that on the subways because I didn't take the subway during rush hours. And again, I haven't been in Korea in over 9 months. And for the last 3 years, I worked from home. I didn't go outside. But, you know, just from my recollection of commuting, I felt that South Korea in Gangnam area and in the business area was very open. You could get from point A to point B without being, you know, jostled. In Toronto, it was very tight, very hard to get around. Hong Kong, I was a tourist. I was there for a day or two, so you know. Shanghai, crowded. Beijing, crowded. I was in Beijing 14 years ago during Golden Week. So I was there for 7 days. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, you know, it was enjoyable. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, you're right. It is about 20 square kilometers, 200,000 square kilometers. Lake Ontario's, the distance around it. What I'm saying is, like, when you compare the size of Lake Ontario, when you compare the size of Lake Ontario, not its square kilometers, but the distance from, you know, one end to the other end, and the width, the length and the width is what I'm comparing. Yeah, they're probably, the size is different. I will say South Korea is probably bigger than Lake Ontario. Well, let's say take Lake Ontario and Lake Erie together. That still doesn't even compare to the size of Canada. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like Canada is just insanely huge compared to South Korea. and the population is much, much bigger. So when I talk about, you know, I feel more crowded in Toronto than I did in Seoul at any time. When I'm commuting, when I'm walking around, when I'm going to work. So yeah, I don't feel crowded in Seoul. It's a beautiful city. I loved living there. It's just very, very expensive. You know, to live comfortably, minimum $2,000 to $3,000 a month you got to spend, and 60% of that is rent. It's 70% is rent. It's housing. Expenses. Internet, heat, gas, rent, all of that stuff. What else? Well, let's see. What can we talk about? Good cup of coffee, let me tell you. That's a deep roast. I did have a vanilla flavor that was really good, but I like my espresso or my deep roast. It's hard to find coffee here, so I have to go shopping again, pick up some coffee. So Sunday Funday, what am I going to do this afternoon? Well, it's 1:30. I'm going to go eat. Okay, I'm going to enjoy my dad's barbecue. He is a barbecue king. Well, Seoul 101, I am an ex-Itaewon guy. My old nickname was Itaewon Sammi. I used to run, if you're from Seoul, I used to run B1 nightclub. And if you check out my YouTube from 3 years ago, you will see some of the videos. I used to be the VIP host at B1 Club in Itaewon. And before that, I used to run House Ming Club in Itaewon. And then I did a little bit at Globe Lounge and Assemble Club before COVID shut everything down. I was going to return to some of the Gangnam clubs, but I decided at that point I wasn't interested in doing clubs anymore. I'm going back to Korea in January. My name is Sam. Sammi is my nickname. That's how I know when people call me in public. I did that on purpose, because when someone yells my name in public, Sammi, then I know that that is a club friend or a YouTube friend or an Instagram friend or a Facebook friend. If someone calls me Sam, then I know that that is a personal friend. Saman, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Please let me know where you're watching from. You're watching from Sri Lanka, watching from Canada, watching from America, watching from Europe. Please let me know where you're calling from. So in Seoul, when I go back in January, I'm going in January 14th through the 28th, I'll be in Seoul. I'll be staying in Gangnam near Seollyeong, near COEX. And I will be hanging out in Gangnam most of the time. I have a lot of friends in Gangnam. I don't know if I will be going to Itaewon. I think I should, just to pay some respects. I do have some friends who own bars there, so I should go and visit them. It is Asian New Year, the second week I am in Seoul. So I'm going to be visiting with some friends and having, family dinners. So partying is not going to be a big thing for me this trip. I will have a night out with some friends. I will be inviting my close friends for dinner and drinks. But I'm probably going to do it in Gangnam. Just because it's winter, I hate traveling. Finding a cab home at night is just ridiculous. And I can rent a party room in Gangnam really, really cheap. So I have places where I can do that. So that's what I'm probably going to do this trip. But in the past, I was an Itaewon guy. I would party at my club, um, the sorry, the when I partied in my club, or I would go to other clubs, would be Fountain, Jack's Bar, Globe, Owl, Thursday Party, and some of the other places which were owned by my friends, some of the smaller venues. Saman, yeah, you're from Sri Lanka. Thank you for joining us. I'm in Sri Lanka as well. I'm in Jayala, which is between Colombo and Katunayake. Yeah, Mosaic Cosmos Halifax is fun. We drove to Halifax and then took the ferry boat to Newfoundland. Halifax, we went to the lower deck for Alexander Keith's birthday party. I remember that. We drove from Toronto, 15 hours, 16 hours straight, nonstop. Left on a Friday night and made it Saturday afternoon, and partied Saturday night for Alexander Keith's birthday party at the lower deck across from the casino. I remember that. That had to be, I'm going to say that was 25 years ago, at least 25 or more years ago. And I still remember it because it was such a party. It was such a blast. Well, I'm 54, so I was in my mid 20s when that happened. So it's still something I remember because it was so much fun. It was with 4 friends and we had a great time. We had a great time. I mean, back then we didn't have a lot of money, so you couldn't fly. You didn't fly in those days. You drove. So it was great fun, great fun. Thank you for the comment. So just so you know, my birthday's on Christmas Day. So watch my channel on Christmas Day for my 54th birthday. I used to have great birthday parties when I was in Korea. They were, I used to have incredible parties because, I worked at a club, so how can you not have a party? And it used to last 14 days from like a week before Christmas till a week after Christmas, ending on New Year's. So, Saman, you're saying, like to know your past life experiences in Canada. So check out my videos. Oh, sorry. I don't have any videos about my life in Canada. I don't really talk a lot about that because not really important to me. My life really began when I left Canada, when I came to South Korea and I started living in South Korea 15 years ago. If you had to ask me how old I am, I'd say 15, because my past life doesn't really matter. I experienced a good life in Canada. I'm happy that I was raised in Canada. I have nothing against Canada. It's just I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born there. I have no family there. I have nothing there. I have no connection to the country. Canada's a great country, but I wasn't happy there. I was happier outside of Canada. I'm not someone who can live in one place. I need to travel. That's why the last 3 years have been driving me insane. I couldn't get out of Korea. Living in Korea was great because I got to experience a new culture, something that I hadn't experienced in a long time. Because living in North America, you travel to Central America, South America, Europe, Mexico, California, wherever, right? You travel in that hemisphere. An exotic trip is to Europe or maybe Egypt. But when I was in South Korea, Thailand, Hong Kong, China, Middle East. I went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, Shanghai, Kuala Lumpur, all these different places that I've never experienced before, and each one was better than the next. So now I'm going to do Philippines, and then from Philippines I'm going to do Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and all that. I had a decent life. So, Mosaic Cosmos. Um, Getting burned on gifts, some people would think I did, but I usually got two gifts, one from Santa, one from family for birthday. So I got two gifts, or I got a really big one. Um, but yeah, I don't really remember, but I had a great childhood. I had a great life. I'm not complaining. I don't regret, not at all. I'm a very happy person. So if you follow my videos, you'll see I always say, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. What that means is learn to live life. Do what you want to do right now. Don't let life live you. What that means is um, um, don't let the things that make you have to live your life stop you from doing what you want to do. Oh, let's go. Oh, I can't. I have to go to work. That's life living you. Oh, let's go here. Oh, no, yeah, I have my kids. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship and having children and having responsibilities, but that was your choice. You chose to do that. So don't regret that choice. So that's why I choose not to have kids or be in a relationship, because I don't want to regret making that decision. I want my life to be an open book where I can just turn the page and start writing a brand new story. I don't regret being single or having no kids. I'm an English teacher. Although I teach online, I interact with kids all the time and I love it. And when I was in South Korea, I was a kindergarten teacher. I loved it. I loved having those kids around and teaching them, and it was so much fun and it was so easy. It was so easy. I was such a popular teacher because I was silly. I mean, I think you can see I'm very good at interacting with people. So, I did it. The party on the ferry better than Shanghai? I don't remember. But sorry, when I went to Halifax for Alexander Keith's birthday party, I didn't go to Newfoundland that time. That was another time that I went with the family. So we went to Newfoundland on the ferry boat. But going to Alexander Keith's birthday party in Halifax was not sorry, multitasking here, was not a Newfoundland trip. So let's see here. Too many people trying to communicate me. I have so many applications. So I have Kakao Talk, which is a South Korean app. I have Discord. I have WhatsApp. I have Line, WeChat, all open on this computer screen, and people talking to me. Not from YouTube, but these are just friends from all over the world. Nasty bike accident in Shanghai. I rode big motorcycles. Like, we're talking Harley size. I had a Yamaha 600cc. I had a Honda Bobber 1100cc, and those I had two bikes at that time, and then I had a little scooter, 50cc scooter, just to take me to the bus stop, which was 5 minutes away. And prior to that, I had a 600cc bike, Korean bike, and then my first bike was a 250cc bike. The first bike I ever rode was a 125 Korean bike, but that was a friend's bike just to like practice on. My first real bike was 250, and then I always had big bikes, like huge bikes. So they weren't fast like, speed bikes or scooters or mopeds or whatever you want to call them. So you couldn't do this. You basically just sat back and cruised. They couldn't accelerate very fast, not like speed bikes. So I never really got them to speed. I just moved with traffic. So I was very careful in Korea. I never got into an accident. I was very lucky because in Korea, you watch all the cars to make sure they don't hit you. Driving in Korea is all about thinking every single person is going to hit you. Anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up soon. I want to thank everyone who was watching today. I really appreciate taking the time. I know it's a Sunday afternoon. For me, it's for those of you who have joined me from the West Coast, it's a Saturday night for you. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to start to try to do these every week on Sundays. And please like, comment, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things. I do truly appreciate it. And I do, as you saw here, I answer every single one. If you comment, I will answer. I thank you. Please have a safe night. Stay safe. Okay. COVID is still out there. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. Stay warm. Stay healthy. And until I see you guys next time, I'm out. Now, how do I end this? I gotta figure out how to end this. Okay. Yes, I do want to stop streaming. Thank you, guys. Good night.